The Nissan X-Trail's engine is pure Japanese genius. It is, if I have to put some drama into it, a small leap for Nissan but a giant leap for internal combustion engines. I mean, now that they've pulled it off, it's almost like, hey, why didn't anyone else think of this before? And now that the intro is done, let's actually see what this engine is all about. And to make things clearer for y'all, I've made a crude diagram of a single cylinder 4-stroke engine. In the first diagram, the piston is on top. There is nothing in the compression chamber. And I mean, it's technically not called a compression chamber, but I'm going to call it that to explain parts of this video better. When the first stroke happens, which is called the intake stroke, the intake valve opens up and the piston moves downwards, thereby drawing fuel and air mixture into the cylinder. When the second stroke happens, the inlet valve gets closed and the piston starts moving up, thereby compressing this air and fuel mixture into the compression chamber. So the compression ratio is basically the volume of air and fuel mixture that has been drawn into the cylinder and the resultant volume of the space that it gets compressed into. So say an engine is 100 cc and the air and fuel mixture gets compressed into 10 cc. So this engine will have a compression ratio of 10:1. The third stroke is basically the power stroke. It starts with the compressed air and fuel mixture which is ignited by the spark plug, which then drives the piston down. And the fourth stroke is when the piston comes up, the exhaust valve is open, and the piston basically pushes the exhaust gases out of the cylinder. To actually understand what Nissan has done, we need to dig a bit deeper into the compression stroke. Now an engine with say a low compression ratio of about 8:1, where 8 units of volume of fuel and air mixture gets compressed into 1 unit of volume, this kind of an engine produces lesser power than say an engine with a 12:1 compression ratio. Because in a 12:1 compression ratio engine, 12 units of air and fuel mixture gets compressed into 1 unit of volume, and that is very high pressure. So when the spark plug ignites that fuel and air mixture, the explosion is going to be a lot more powerful, thereby producing a lot more power. So to sum it up, as a thumb rule only, an engine with a lower compression ratio is going to produce lower amount of power, and an engine with higher compression ratio is going to produce higher amounts of power with the same amount of fuel. But there is a small drawback to high compression ratio engines, because since the explosions are going to be more powerful, the engine is going to be more stressed out. All the components of the engine are going to be at a higher level of stress. So a lower compression engine is going to be under stressed and sometimes even smoother. And so far, once you've designed an engine, the engine is going to have a fixed compression ratio. What Nissan has done is that they found a way to vary the amount of space in which the air and fuel mixture in the cylinder gets compressed into, thereby allowing and enabling the engine to extract more power based on what the driver needs as per his or her or their inputs. Nissan does this by limiting the piston from going up all the way for a lower compression ratio and enabling the piston to go all the way up for a higher compression ratio. What Nissan states in their website though is slightly counterintuitive. What they mention is that they can enable lower compression ratios for more power and higher compression ratios for more efficiency. And this is probably due to the engine working in tandem with a turbocharger, a CVT and a mild hybrid system. If you want to know what a mild hybrid system is, check out this video. For me, the engine is the most and probably the only exciting aspect of the Nissan X-Trail. The car as such is a nice premium 7-seater 3-row SUV, and as a product it competes with 2 cars. The Skoda Kodiaq, which also has 7 seats, and the Volkswagen Tiguan, which only has 5 seats. Yeah, you could say that it can also compete with the Jeep Meridian, the Fortuner, the MG Gloucester and so on and so forth. But I think the X-Trail is going to take away more of Skoda and Volkswagen's market share than anybody else. And I will do a full-scale technical comparison between the Kodiaq, the Tiguan and the XTrail once the XTrail's pricing is out. But what is the XTrail? Is it a good product? Is it a good proposition for the Indian market? I think it is for the mature auto enthusiast. It's for someone who can appreciate the tech behind the engine and its Japanese lineage. Kind of for like a more affluent Honda City hybrid buyer. It is going to be more fuel efficient than its competition without feeling underpowered. So if someone drops their ego regarding the engine size and go for the XTrail, they will end up with a mature, plush and premium 7-seater SUV that gets the fundamentals right. So would I put my money on it? Of course I would, especially over the Skoda and the Volkswagen, because I much prefer Japanese simplicity and finesse over German engineering. But what would you do? Would you buy this car? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this rather differently formatted CarStats video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the CarStats channel. It's going to take me a long way, and I'll see you all in the next video.